Welcome back, everybody, to Stasis Blood Totem. So last time we left off, we were attempting to get into basically the main mine, I think, is what it looked like. Load. We just had an autosave. Okay. So we'll go right here. I could have sworn I actually had another save, but maybe not. Anyway, so we managed to get that rover working, and then all of a sudden the area on top of us decided it was going to break down.
Okay, heavy on the central apparatus. 1138. Power procedure initiated.
Children should not play near this machine, Charlie.
You're probably right, Mose.
Alright, so I don't know what this should be set at.
Warning. Calibration error. Warning. Calibration error.
Let me go see if there's anything else that might give us a clue as to what we do. Sealed door. No cartridge in that. I think he might need the laser. Yeah.
Well, Kane, damn it.
Language, Mac.
What happened?
I dropped the laser. Hold on.
Oh, wait, what about this? Lens. That's not doing it. What the heck? Okay. Ah!
Well, it worked. Believe it or not, the lock's cut open.
Mac must hurry.
Good. Okay. Yeah, it's about to collapse. Good thing he wasn't a billionaire.
Whoa.
Loud noises.
Tell me about it.
What happened? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Got through the door, right as the dig site collapsed behind me. Made it. Barely.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Where are you now?
Give me a second.
Alright, let's see what we got here. Stone heads. A gallery of malformed stone heads glance and leer about, frozen in the perpetual fascination of those who find themselves wandering these long dead halls. Protrusions. Rid protrusions the color of curdled dairy seesaw along the walls. A carved simulacrum of gills and fish scales. sandbags. An odd dozen sandbags form a short wall, cordoning off the cadaverous carvings from passing traffic. Let's see, what else we got here? Supports. The hallway is strutted by concentric metal beams, a human intrusion enforcing a sense of control and man-made order within this human terrain. Lighting. The emplaced lights disperse the darkness into the hallway's recesses. The illumination as much as intrusion into these halls as the scientists who pried them open. This is something. Okay, there we go. Sculpted figure. The carved figures within the hallway have undergone a macabre tonal shift. Whereas the sculpture by the entrance was adorned by jewelry, those within this shrouded hallway depict flayed bodies in brooding positions. Alright, check this out. Okay, that's weird looking. Alright, so this is circle check mark with a thingy above it. Everything looks like is connected in a certain way. Okay. Tarp. A sheet of reflective orange tarp provides passage over treacherous terrain, hints of barbed rock hidden beneath. Rampart. A wall of sandbags forms a protective rampart, while also allowing easier access to those who brave a closer inspection of the morbid effigy. Crystals. Clusters of inky crystals jut outwards from the rock, a mineral detonation trapped in time. Bioluminescent algae. The bespeckled carpet of bioluminescent light bleeds out from the carved cavity, birthing coral-like growths from where the light pulls into alcoves and bends around nooks. A gargantuan stone torso rears up from the ground, its belly bent open to allow travel through toothed ribs. Disquieting maternal aura emanates from the sculpture, the Caesarean passageway promising a contrived rebirth for those who emerge and unbirth for those who enter. Insect. PA. And I think that's probably going in carved wall. This portion of the wall has been carved out and bound by straps, made ready for terminally displayed transportation and analysis. The PDA. Dr. Abdulaziz Al-Kabor, Archaeological Geology. Dear Mom and Dad, I'm writing to share with you the fantastic news that I have been transferred to a new facility. I'm excited about this opportunity and can't wait to share all the details with you in person. The work I am doing here is truly groundbreaking, and I am grateful to be able to make such meaningful contributions to my field. I am also thrilled to let you know that my superior mentioned the possibility of a bonus leave if I continue to excel in my work. I miss you both and can't wait to see you again on the Bring. Until then, please know that my love for you is as strong as ever, and you are always in my thoughts, Abdul. Personal log. I look closer at the drone footage of the ancient water wheels surrounding Black Sand Beach. They were primarily used for milling. What's even more fascinating is the substance they were grinding. The millstones are coated in a fine white powder. I had it tested. It turns out to be bone dust, human bone. Why were they grinding remains a mystery. Ceremonial use, dietary supplementation, animal feed. Message to Dave Gallagher. I understand the company's desire to expand Omega deeper into the cave system. Still, there's no practical way of doing it without damaging sections of the excavation site. Do you really need a STEM station down here? These ruins are still mostly unexplored, but their inhabitants were remarkable. Even from what little we know, their technology was far more advanced than any other civilization from this period by hundreds of years. The historical significance of these findings cannot be overstated. They could change everything we know about our earliest ancestors. Source findings can be overseas. Including a halt expansion until we find a way to preserve the ruins. At the very least, allow me to plead my case in person when you arrive next week. A C-14 sample from the oldest milled bones has been dated 1650 AD. Meanwhile, the structures themselves go back thousands of years. Perhaps the sample was contaminated? Either way, we must keep the site intact until we understand what we're dealing with. Personal log. Core samples we drilled at 5671. Ah, there it is. Got it. Okay. 5671 hertz at 1.29 meters a second squared. Indicate that most of the cave system comprises calcic plagioclase, sanidine with olivine, and small amounts of lucite. This is unusual for the region, especially the ocean floor. The weathering further suggests this outcrop was exposed to sun and wind some 2,000 years ago. Really? Wow. Okay. So that is the fourth one down. Today my heart is heavy with grief. I received the terrible news that Yvette was tragically injured. The thought of informing Captain Haskin up top is just horrid. The loss is truly devastating. I found the critters that escaped from animal testing. They were breeding in the refrigeration tanks. I don't know what my colleagues were doing with them in the lab. Still, they should be more careful. Those things are nasty. Fluoroantimonic, acidic blood and all. Oh, great. So basically Xenos. Got word of the base lockdown. Guess I'm going to be stuck here for a while. I'm not complaining. To all mule crew. You can't keep moving people into the temple. Even if the quarantine lasts only a few days, they are damaging an incredibly valuable excavation site. Find another place to put them. Everybody is piled into the Prime Omega laboratory. My claustrophobia kept me out of there. It's been so tranquil. Where is everybody? The decon chamber alarm was going nuts. I looked through the lab door. It was piled high with congealed torsos. At first glance, I could see something that looked like a gnarled tree with knotted branches and a twisted trunk. But upon closer inspection, its branches were made up of human arms and legs, twisted and contorted into grotesque shapes. The trunk was composed of torsos stacked on top of the other, their eyes and mouths open in eternal screams of agony. The creature seemed to pulsate with life, its limbs writhing and twitching as if it were in constant pain. Every now and then, a blood-curdling scream would emit from their mouths. I've collapsed the bridge to ensure it stays in the lab. Great, I hope that's not where I'm heading. But you know it is. I don't fear death, for I know nothing is left to experience pain once my mind is gone. But I would have liked to explore more of the world and uncover our shared past. Alas, even this current project, which will take my life, remains unfinished. The many stories in these walls waiting to be told will not find their interpreter in me. There is comfort in meeting my end locked up in a temple erected by a lost civilization. It is a good death for an adventurer. If you find this log, please have my body sent to the corpse ring for burial. I promised my parents I would return to them. Okay. So remember, it is actually it's the fifth one down. Okay. And what's this?
Oh,
God.
Kane's rain.
Okay.
Is it... It's still alive?
The creature is, not the poor bastard underneath it.
An unpleasant end.
Maybe you can cut it off him?
That would mean getting close to it.
Yeah. Damn it!
This thing's blood.
Oh,
It
right.
melted right through the metal.
Cutting it open didn't stop it?
No. It's writhing. It didn't even notice, I'd say.
Very little would stop it. This is a higher form.
Compared to what?
Okay, well, alright. We'll just leave that to whatever it's doing. Huge. Okay, alright, real quick, let me switch to her. I need to look at PDA.
control apparatus 113A in operation. Operation should be conducted by licensed HUDA engineers only.
Is that so?
Okay. Go. There.
Heck, I did it. I got the drill to finish its run.
Still have all your arms?
Legs too. Looks like a cave on the other side.
That cave system will lead you to Alpha Base, assuming you haven't destabilized its structural integrity. It very well could collapse on you.
Bucket of optimism, aren't you, pal?
Okay, good. So we're in here now. Alright. Got a dead diver. A radiant crystal embedded in the cave wall illuminates the diving suit. It has been partially subsumed by a rising layer of mud. A glance through the muck stained faceplates reveals a decomposed corpse. However, the suit's watertight seal indicates death by asphyxiation. Great. PDA. Floor. Thick dirt has slowly flooded into the cave, slowly constricting and strangling the interior. The space between the floor and ceiling having slowly but perpetually shrunk. The torchlight reveals hints of an open passageway, shadows dancing on a trail of mud beyond the bars of drooping stalactites. Okay, let's look at the body.
There's a dead diver here.
Okay.
He died in his suit.
May his mind find the nexus. Does he have anything useful?
Oh, hydrophone. Okay. Empty has bag. Whatever that is. Ah, aluminum welding rod. Okay. An omnidirectional recording device, super sensitive and precise. Looks like it still works. Fairly standard diving gear. Never hurts to have some extra pockets on hand, especially ones that can withstand toxic spills and store acid. Ah, haha. That's gonna be for the blood. Several dozen aluminum welding rods were presumably used to maintain infrastructure. Okay. Got it. Alright, so let's go get this PDA. Roger Callan, marine biologist. Funny how seemingly insignificant events can drastically change your life. One moment I was pinging the ocean floor looking for whale signs, and the next I was promoted. This was not how I expected my life to turn out. I had a mountain of educational debt and a miserable wife. I can still hear her voice. Who studies marine biology anyway? She repeatedly asked this question for 10 years straight. You will never amount to anything. That's a huge red flag. You will never amount to anything, Roger. I should have listened to my mother. Blah, blah, blah. Well, look at me now. This is Aaron Skullwalker. That's a cool last name. To Pandoria Chambers. Professors, allow me to be the first to welcome you to Alpha. This is the first momentous step toward understanding more of our past and exploiting it for future profit. I am thrilled that you have agreed to join me and Kane in this undertaking. If you have any questions, I am at your disposal. I've mapped most of the site already, and I'm preparing to lead expeditions into the temple system, which I am sure you will both want to be a part of. Until then, welcome to the last frontier on planet Earth, our very own abyss. Personal log. Kane plans to exploit the fauna here. The oceans are mostly fished out and seafood is a rare delicacy, but in this region, marine life seems to thrive. I caught it! Stupendous! Definitive proof that something in this cave is allowing complex life to exist and evolve over 20,000 feet below the surface. It's beautiful. Okay, maybe not beautiful. It's a maggot. A particularly feisty one at that. It immediately latched onto my wrist and started sucking my blood. Damn. Predatory behavior means there is prey, which means there are more discoveries to be made. Message to Aaron Skullwalker. Professor Skullwalker, I would also like to take this opportunity to express my admiration for you in particular. Your voyages beyond the Outer Rims played no small part in igniting my passion for exploration. I would love to share some stories with you over a drink, perhaps, one pioneer to another. I've been feeding my new pet algae from around the base. We've no source. I've been feeding my new pet algae. Yeah, they're supposed to be. He's feeding his pet algae from around the base. We've no shortage of the stuff. The little beastie's appetite seems to know no limits, and its growth rate is staggering. The professors weren't as keen to join my expedition as I'd hoped. Chambers, I understand. I've heard about the side effects of a full body transplant. She's probably not as fit as she looks, and getting around in a dive suit is already challenging. Skullwalker, though, I'm disappointed. One of the last true frontiersmen of our time should be thrilled to participate in honest exploration again, or at least talk about it. But all he asks me about is my family. You may be my greatest hero, sir, but even you won't entice me into speaking about my ex-wife. There's not enough rum here for that conversation. So, damn. Yeah, full body transplant. Okay. So I was eager to see how large the maggot would grow. I began feeding it my own blood. After all, that was the first thing it went for. I didn't factor in that its increase in strength has not been proportional to its growth in size. It appears to be developing a heightened awareness of its surroundings. Have you ever been looked at hungrily by a dog-sized, oozing balloon-like thing? It's even less fun than it sounds. To all Alpha Base crew, just wanted to say, should you hear loud banging in my laboratory, do not be alarmed. It's just an experiment I'm running. Everything is proceeding as intended, though I would advise against entering my work area without me, especially if you have recently eaten chicken. Thanks. As a senior ranking member of this endeavor, I am ordering everybody to remain inside Alpha Base until further notice. Should you hear knocking, slithering, or any other unusual noise coming from outside, proceed to another part of the base just to be safe, then call me. Message from Corporate. Mr. Callan. While the board appreciates your enthusiasm for this project and your role in identifying the site, they would like to remind you that your job is to facilitate the research of Professors Chamber and Skullwalker and collect samples for our experts who just arrived on the deep sea rig. None of this requires you to conduct your own studies. The research budget will not be altered, barring exceptional circumstances, so please focus on your prescribed duties. Found the little bastard. It burrowed into the sand and was catching small fish. It seems to have evolved into an ambush predator, I was about to think like a bobbit worm. Oh, great. Incredible. The physiological and behavioral changes are happening right before my eyes. I was about to say, like a frickin' bobbit worm. From corporate to Mr. Callahan. The board is indeed interested in this new specimen, but they must again remind you that your job is to simply retrieve new samples and send them to Deep Sea 15. Alpha is not yet equipped to study xeno life forms. Please consider your significant outstanding debts to Kane, and the fact that, although you are separated, your ex-wife is still a shareholder of your debt, as you are of hers. Oh, great. That doesn't seem cool. From Deep Sea 15. A spike in seismic activity caused the collapse of the primary ingress into the cave and temple structure. We are sending a drilling technician to widen the entrance so that supply shipments can be resumed. In the meantime, you are advised to implement a ration system and reserve medications for emergencies. A fragile cave system isn't the best place to use sonic attractors, but how else was I supposed to attract the larger fish? While the attractors were working, my new buddy managed to snag a few juicy specimens. The sonic attractors also wrecked most of the electrical systems and distorted the magnetic field, which the walls amplified. Maybe this will turn out to be a blessing in disguise. The new, larger entrance will be a much better staging ground for expeditions. Okay. Alright. I imagine you're a cut-to-the-chase sort of guy. See, this makes me think, didn't I get something Sonic-wise? To Daniel Gunderson. I imagine you're a cut-to-the-chase sort of guy, so I'd say limit it to 18 feet in diameter max, and go from there. With the recent collapse, it's the only way out of this place. Report back to me on your progress tomorrow. To all Alpha Base crew, there's no good way to say this, so I'll just rip off the band-aid. We're sealed in, completely. I don't know exactly how it happened, but Gunderson's drilling caused another cave-in. But fear not, we all know the value of our work, and so does Kane. I am certain they will spare no expense to free us. Personal log, I'll just wait here for Gunderson to open the passage. Didn't check my gear before I left, guess I never learned. Sheila would shake her head and laugh if she saw me now. Same old Roger, always getting ahead of himself. I wonder what she would say if she knew I named the maggot after her. The little guy's got legs now. Many of them. As if it wasn't horrifying enough. Is it the thing that was in the fucking brain? I suppose if I die, I can be satisfied that here, at the edge of the world, I brushed up against mysteries beyond my comprehension, mysteries to which I led the way. Only getting 1 BPS. I guess they're moving the data receivers elsewhere. The Newman is not going to be happy trapped down here. I'm amazed Kane would risk pissing that thing off. Okay. Message from corporate. Mr. Callan, with deep regret, the board must inform you that we have abandoned this forward operation. Please understand that this is not a reflection of your work to date, but the result of repeat violations by the Newman. The isolation of Alpha lends itself perfectly to a seal and forget procedure. The board asks that you pass on their sincere regret to those unfortunate events, for these unfortunate events to the rest of the crew, and thank them for their service. You will all be pleased to know that your hard work won't be lost. The construction of a new base has already been approved. In light of the above, we have released your ex-wife from her debt. Wow. course, she will surely be in the Nexus, waiting for you with her arms open wide. Congratulations and farewell. Yeah, I'm sure he didn't give a shit about that. Okay, so let's go to the passage. Yeah, hydrophone. Okay. Okay, you're still in here, right? Yeah, okay. They were collecting metal sticks? I've been collecting small throwing rocks and keeping them in my fun bag. Uh-oh. I want to sing into this. Hoping I love singing. Not uh-oh. Uh-oh. Alright, so... A gaping vent in the structure wall violently burst open by detonation. Fumes of burning plastic and charred rubble linger in the air. I'm guessing that's where that thing went.
Scary things? No scary things.
Good.
Yet.
The creature from the brain. Whatever it is, you likely have not seen the last of it.
I am brave and strong.
I hope so, my friend. I hope so. For both our sakes.
Alright, leave him there for now. The reason I came back here is I want to go back to the insects. Because aluminum welding rods, I always messed up when I tried welding with aluminum rods, despite Charlie repeatedly trying to teach me. My fingers never manage to get these open or closed when I'm on a dive, pesky little things. What was that? Were they interviewing the fish about the state of the aquatic economy? Alright, I'm gonna grab that and go here and see if I can grab some of that. Yeah. Good. Alright, a real hot potato. Need to haul this somewhere before it eats through the bag and starts burning into my skin. Let's go back to her. I need to get her out of the water. This satchel is only a temporary container. The viscous liquid is eating through it quickly. I hope it's not like an actual time thing, because I won't make it. I can hear bubbling noises. Is this a fizzy drink? Don't drink that. Alright, let's see what else we go this way. Oh boy. Oh my god, is that the fucking maggot? Damn. I don't know, it's gigantic. Yeah, it is. Son of a bitch. Shit. What is this? Say. Ancient lava flow. The dried remains of ancient lava flow have created a ramp-like structure, allowing access to an area beyond. Okay, so that goes into another area. Stone structures, imposing tendons of stone stretch upward to meet the ceiling, draped in a sopping mane of stalactites. Figurehead. Oh, it's a figurehead of a ship. A sturdy bronze figurehead of an ancient galleon, arms splayed as if in reference towards the horror that nests below it. Maggot. The colossal mass sloshes within the rocky alcove, its distended form twitching and undulating in the soft currents like a malformed water balloon. Through translucent skin, vague shapes of shuddering organs are visible. tiny bubbles escape from the anus while the maw slurps fluids from a rotting carcass. Fun. That's just great. Alright, so there's a tunnel there. Plastic tube leads into a subterranean tunnel, the interior of which is ringed by wiring and oscillating lights. This thing's still alive then.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
What is that?
It looks like, well, a giant maggot.
Oh my god.
I do not like this.
Warning. Dicey integrity compromised. Energy reserves below 10%.
I have to find some way past it.
Okay, so never mind. I thought that it was going to be this. It's not. Okay. Okay. Oh shit. Oh god. Death. Okay. Yep. Shit.
Charlie, come in. I want your signal. Charlie. Charlie.
Yeah. Alright. Oh good, I found another death. Okay. That, no. Go this way. Go up here. I have to get around this somehow. Okay. Trench wall. The trench wall is a curtain of stalactites and stalagmites stretching upward towards a shattered cavity within the cavern's roof. Okay. Streaming light. The pillar has been splintered near its apex. What's that? Splintered near its apex. A spear piercing the darkness beyond a tear that's rent through the ceiling. From above, a perpetual snowstorm of particulates rains down. Barrels. A pair of barrels lie half submerged in mud and mussels. Their contents long since evaporated or disintegrated. Galleon. The misdirection of an ancient galleon lies shattered upon the barnacle stippled cavern floor. Debris. What little cargo survived the ship's sinking and collision has been consumed by a forest of barnacles. Okay.
Oh my. It's amazing.
Is that what I think it is?
Like a toy.
It's a Spanish galleon.
Yeah.
It must have sunk and crashed into the top of the chamber.
Not yesterday either. How old is this place?
Old. Far older than the ship.
Warning. Major structural instabilities detected. Use caution when working around this artifact.
Careful around that thing. Could dislodge really easy.
The deck looks intact. I'm going in it.
Charlie? Why?
I have the barest beginning of a thought.
This woman.
Okay. This is okay, I guess another small area. Inscribed slab. An exotic slab chunk lies prostrate in the silk, composed of peculiar materials and adorned with obscure yet intricate carving. The stairs retain their shape, though their moldy complexion warns that any pressure applied to them can cause them to disintegrate like sodden cardboard. Old ship. A torn section of the ship lies beheaded against the pillars of rock, the majority of its body swallowed by shifting mud. Aft. The aft section of the vessel's corpse has been overrun by a variety of critters, slowly blanketing and consuming what remains of the rotting vessel. Masts. The shock of the vessel's impact popped the mast out of its lodging, collapsing backwards and colliding with the remains of the ship's aft. Wait, what's this way? Oh, good. So, maybe I could drop the figurehead on it? Alright. Old ship bow. The figurehead of the ancient ship protrudes forward from the bow, its purpose of warding off bad luck from underwater spirits or violent creatures has evidently failed. No shit. Figured, what? Oh. Okay.
Warning. Major structural instabilities detected. Use caution when working around this artifact.
The bow of that thing could come apart any second, Charlie.
Good.
Yeah, exactly.
Drop it on the maggot. Alright. Before we do that, I want to explore a little more. It was over here. I'm inside the ship. Okay.
I'm in the captain's quarters. The wood is really rotten here.
Warning. Energy reserves below 10%.
Yes.
You're running out of time, Charlie. She is not the only one.
Furniture. The cadavers of wooden furniture lie huddled under the table as if terrified of the ship's new inhabitants. Objects, a variety of inconsequential curiosities adorn the shelving, from broken bells and brushes to the congealed remains of ledgers. Barnacles. A curtain of barnacles rolls down the wall, thick clumps of sharp shapes tumbling over each other as they sprout from displaced linen. Mud. Thick mud has pulled into the room, carried in by currents and aquatic denizens. Floor. The pulpy wooden flooring bends like thick rubber as you traverse over it. Plankton. Clusters of marine plankton swarm over the interior furnishings, a tectonic plague growing over the drenched wood. Bed. The sodden remains of a bed, particularly collapsed due to age and rot, the dissolved sheeting little more than clouds of fabric. Octopus. The albino octopus sits upon its self-claimed throne. Its cataract racked eyes, broadcasting both a deep age and malice. Its massive sucker-bearing arms would crack open this diving suit while it injects a salivary neurotoxin into the bloodstream. Great, so I'm guessing if I even try to approach this, I'm just gonna get wrecked, huh? No, maybe not. Okay. Alright, oops.
Amazing.
It is pretty.
Everything this must have seen.
Yes. Especially at the end.
I don't even think a place called New Bedford still exists. A weird, great souvenir to try and hold on to if we find a way out. Okay. Alright, let's see, let's say 603, 2 are correct but wrongly placed. Okay, so this will be the code for this. 603, 2 are correct but wrongly placed. 1, 2, 3, 1 is correct and well placed. 180, 1 is correct but wrongly placed. 869, 1 is correct but wrongly placed. 918, nothing is correct. Okay, so well, I think three's definitely correct. And then there's 6 and let's see, so 6 is correct. There is no 1. There is no 8. 1, 2, 3. 1 is correct and well placed. So that's gotta be 3. That'd be 0, 6 then? Damn. Wait, is that not correct? Okay, I guess it wasn't. Okay, so one is correct and well placed. If we're going into the assumption that's 3. It can't be, maybe it is 2. And there's a 0 and a 6 maybe. Ah! Yes! Ha! Got it.
Oh, what do we have here?
Potassium permanganate.
Oh.
A disinfectant. And deodorizer.
We could use a lot of that.
Yeah.
If it still has efficacy, it's ancient.
Yeah. This reeks like a rancid diaper stuffed with fetid cabbage. Ugh. However, there is no fungus that some good old 300-year-old Condy's potassium permanganate can't kill. Okay. Alright, so I've got everything here. Let's get out of here before this octopus decides he wants to try and fight us. Alright, now we need to go take care of the figurehead. Okay. Alright, palisade. A jagged palisade has been constructed around this platform. Both it and the floor built from aged and rotting wood, seemingly much older than the recent intrusion of modern cane infrastructure. Twisted bridge. The splintered remains of a modern bridge subjected to some catastrophe or sabotage.
Oh, jeez. That is a long drop.
Distance to bottom of crevice is incalculable.
Well, that makes me feel better.
What are you going to do?
Gotta get across, obviously. Need to bridge the gap. Somehow.
Okay. An ancient crane built from wood, cord, and metal. Despite apparent age and deterioration, it has remained standing. A burly slab of rock serves as the crane's counterweight. Housed within a prison of straining wood, the mere shiver threatening to tear it free and plunge it into the calamitous descent. Alright. Oh! Okay, so this, I remember now. Ah, there we go. Okay.
Charlie, you see this? The reaction in the metal?
Yeah. It's amazing. Some sort of chemical reaction?
An ancient technology. And like everything else here, one better left alone.
Wish I had the luxury.
Yeah, can't really not do that. Okay. Wow. Okay. What did that do? Anything? Oh, did that make the bridge go? No, it didn't. Alright, well. Okay. Okay, so you're the only other option I got right now. Okay.
But be sure not to spend working hours in piety. The workplace is the ideal place to discover more about yourself.
Your body is a temple, a vessel, if you will. So keep things pure and tidy for the mother's sake.
Employment should be your vessel. Work is when you feel most alive, loved, accessible.
Cain's nature is to shine the light of understanding into the world's darkest regions. But remember, dying is the hard part. On the other hand, working is easy, and the nexus awaits us after death.
Okay. Passage. This area of the labs appears notably cleaner and better equipped, notably better funded. The territory of the scientist upper class. Trees. The artificial trees are an awkward attempt to inject life into an otherwise sterile environment. Their taut plastic leaves, motionless in the face of tumbling smoke and stirring air currents. The bench broadcasts discomfort. Assorted pipes funnel gas into a network of storage containers. Smoke. Behind clouds of choking smoke, a conflagration feeds ardently on wisps of gas leaking from the combusted piping. Bench. The wooden bench is a surreal anatomism exacerbated by the presence of counterfeit trees. In an ironic twist, the attempt to inject some sense of coziness has only succeeded in making the environment more desolate. Okay. Fire. Pops of flame burst through a ruptured gas pipeline, spewing out reams of chemical smoke that singe the nostrils. Okay, so what's this here? Security terminal. Life support. Fire in sequencer lab. Fire in genetic storage. Subsystems locked.
Please select subsystem.
Alright. Shit, I have no clue. Okay. I don't know yet. Okay, let's go over here. Check this door. The massive door hangs from the reinforced steel frame. It is grubby and scratched, clad with a smorgasbord of splattered blood and minced flesh. Great! Yeah, let's go that way.
This door is locked. This door is extra locked.
Shit.
I hear you, Moses. I hear you. Just outside.
Oh, okay.
Just outside. This is my lab.
Great. Work on getting him out of there. I'm on my way.
My Mac.
Alright, so that doesn't work. Shot. Okay. So no way to open that just yet. Let's go this way. Cylinders. Half a dozen gas cylinders line the walls amidst a web of interconnected piping. Blaze. Thick flames curl up from blackened steel and shattered piping. The security monitoring station is perpetually broadcasting to the artifact storage lab. Its screen is ablaze with alerts and warnings. And then we can take a look at that. Alright, let's look at this. Okay. Ah, okay. That's me there. Artifact storage lab. Okay. What's this? Okay, let's try that. Nice.
You are in artifact storage.
Water. Pools of stagnant water flood the workspace, glittering under bright fluorescent lights, sustained by the occasional drip excreted from a damp warped ceiling. Dark pungent smoke rolls out from the vent, tinged with the scent of charred electrical wire and burnt plastic. Equipment. Arrayed before the artifact, the row of monitoring equipment appears to have been testing for radiometric dating and material consistency. Chemicals. Collection of archaeological chemicals and equipment stand over treated samples of rocks and material scraps. Iron sheeting. A warp sheet of corrugated iron tinted with rust and bearing the symbols -555. Banner. The soiled red banner is coated in grime and reeks of damp decay. Portions of the fiber have been cut away, leaving pockmarks in the material, but the Red Star badge insignia, stitched in gold thread, still stands proud. Observation control, we got terminal, we got PDA, we got that vent.
Pieces and parts.
Plate.
This would be a fun puzzle.
An apt analogy, my friend. A puzzle solved too late.
Mac, are you seeing this? Look at the artifacts. The stone, it's like the one we saw before, but the symbol.
It's Soviet Russian. What the hell?
Hope loved puzzles.
Plate. A metallic plate riddled with corrosion, torn from some structure of a vessel. The paint of the embossed emblems is chipped and faded with age, but the words Red Fleet are legible. Okay. Okay, what's this? Soviet. Okay. Let's take a look at this. Actually, for this one. Look at the vent.
Mortuary cabinet open.
Ooh.
Reseal to avoid
Okay.
thawing.
Charlie, look at the uniforms.
Yeah, they're Soviet too.
Okay. Really? You got Ruskies now? Alright. A damp tang of rot emanates from the bodies, partially preserved by whatever tomb they were excavated from. Their archaic wool clothing is stained and weathered, reminiscent of the oldest world wars. Hello. A lighter. It is. Okay. Inventory tag. Alright. Fire melt stuff. This looks fun to chew even though it smells like toes. But oh, I do wish I could take just a little bite. Oh, nice. Translated. Comrade Kirill, you must commandeer 3 suits from the locked storage. First, locate the thermite ingredients, potassium, ferric oxide, and aluminum. Okay, so I've got the aluminum. Then meet me in the pantry. Okay. Alright, so
Oh no, Charlie Mac. Scary things.
I see it, baby. It's okay.
That's the creature that came out of the brain vat tumor.
Its cries.
I do not like this.
He needs a way around it.
There is no alternate route, I'm afraid.
Then he has to move it.
Moving it.
What the fuck? Ours is okay. I'm gonna go in anyway just to see what happens. I mean, living creature still yeah.
Is everything okay? What's going on?
I kind of figured that there was something in there, but holy shit, the thing's freaky looking. Oh my god. Definitely. Alright, let's see. Let's go to the PDA. I think we'll probably do this PDA and then call it a night. No, we'll check out what the terminal do. Alright, Liza Simpson, anthropologist. Reggie used to spend his days at my feet, and now he sits on my desk in a well-deserved position of prominence. He will always be my most cherished possession. After all, the loyal pup was awarded to me by Cain himself upon his glorious rebirth. Report. My anthropological laboratory is well stocked, as my choka position demands. The specimens are mostly well preserved. My assistant is an adequate aid and welcome company. Despite my squeamishness on his part, I've begun analyzing the samples, starting with the 3 sets of human remains discovered in the ocean floor during construction of the thermal reactor. Low temperatures aided in their preservation. Initial dating puts them in the late 20th century, with closing suggesting Soviet military personnel circa the 1980s. The cause of death has not been established conclusively, but there are signs of malnutrition and starvation. I will perform a dissection to study their diet after this recording. Then I will begin an initial pass on the anthropological specimens supplied by Dr. Moon. There is a definite incongruence with the specimens received by Baron, which appear to be much older. Personal log. I've looked into the signal that drew Kane Corporation to this place. The instruction set is naval, using defunct Soviet encryption on a ULF 12 seconds repeating. How could this signal emanate from the bottom of the Pacific 150 years after the fall of the Soviet Union? Irrelevant to my research, but fascinating. The message requests the evacuation of 32 crew in good health. Judging by the 3 fellows I've been studying, help never came. In other news, my relationship with the new assistant is deteriorating. He recoiled in disgust when he saw Reggie, horrified that I'd put the dog on display. It's bizarre that a man who works with human remains is bothered by a beautiful work of animal taxidermy. Nevertheless, I've noted to discuss the matter with management and church officials. Personal log. I've been asked to break bread with Saleha on Cane Day. Reggie, this calls for a real celebration. To Saleha. We retrieved patient 818386. Although the infection had rendered him unconscious by the time we found him, I placed him in a hyperbaric chamber for further study. He claims to have no memory of his infection vector. The medics don't know if his condition is contagious, so they are taking all possible precautions. Initial scans show his brain is in a state of constant activity that looks like dreaming. We're going to jerry-rig some devices to record his thoughts. What worries us most is that the infection is dissolving his biomatter. Hair, skin, and muscle are falling to the floor. Several of his organs are failing. Damn. Further expeditions into the well have been halted until we know more. Personal log. 818386's affliction is morbidly fascinating. I spent nights watching his body's slow deterioration through the glass portals. I even catch myself speaking to him when we're alone, airing my frustrations as if he were my therapist. I didn't expect to find therapeutic sanctuary in the disintegrating miracle that is my grouchy former assistant, but here we are. Damn. Okay. Kane delivers when all seems lost. Over the past year, most of his body mass has sloughed off, but his brain and nervous system remain intact. They appear to be functioning normally, although they are sending and receiving ghost signals. He seems blissfully unaware of his predicament. Thanks to this horrific miracle of biology, we have resumed efforts to record his thoughts. If we can make sense of the data, we may gain some insight into his affliction. The first recording should be ready within the hour. Oh, God. Okay. To Saleha. Saleha, I know you wanted to be kept personally abreast of any new developments with our patient. The first recordings of 818386 are possibly more astounding than his physical condition. He's remained fully cognizant. At the same time, he appears to be experiencing some confusion surrounding his memories, which he already mentioned when he was first quarantined. So he's been fully aware of what's going on. We've requested that a relevant specialist be sent here to help us. Until then, we'll keep monitoring and recording. Personal log. I continue to visit him whenever I can. Somehow, even when I was talking to my dog, I didn't realize how desperate I was for companionship. The shock of his condition, life pared down to a fragile network of signals, has forced me to admit how far away from everything I feel, trapped in this claustrophobic complex at the bottom of the ocean, working toward what exactly? Dear Dr. Hairfest has concluded that 818386's visions are real memories, but they are bleeding into him from an external source. He is inheriting the memories from something. The notion is unsettling, but we can't deny that 818386's memories frequently corroborate new findings to which he is not privy. Does he understand that these memories are not his own? Or is he beginning to think they're his real memories? Is he trapped in those moments? To Saleha. Dr. Hairfest has identified the cause of 818386's condition. Foreign microbes resembling a fungal growth in his brain. Dr. Moon codified the microbe as a more complex strain of PS139. As I'm sure you know, a protoform of PS139 is what drew Kane here in the first place and why the original Alpha base was built. Meanwhile, we are investigating ways to establish a continuous feed of his thoughts so he can talk to us directly. It is strange that I've come to see him as a friend despite his. Is it strange that I've come to see him as a friend despite his condition? I think about what it would be like to experience other people's memories as my own. What happens to our sense of self when you feel like you've lived 100 lives? The doctor is waxing poetic about an arrowhead that is the source of the infection. I am surrounded by idiots. I miss peaceful strolls to commune with the Father and watch the light show. At least he understands. To Saleya. Liza, you are too close to the subject, and this project has exceeded your scope of expertise. I put a formal request with corporate for your transfer off the mule. Reggie, what am I to do? Okay. Is that the... Okay, yeah, that's that. Alright, let's go to terminal then. This terminal. Okay. That's just that. Images. Alright, what's this? Alright, so one of the Russians. Another Russian body. Okay. This looks like the maybe brain activity on that chart. I don't know what that is. Okay, research. That's metal. Plaque they found. Okay. Yeah, more Russian stuff. Alright. Messages, no entries found. Crash. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Oh, is that what's left of the one dude? God. Okay. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Damn. Oh, God. Yeah, that's his, like, shoulders. Ugh. Oh, man. Ew. Like, okay. Yeah, that's... Huh. It's weird that it's in the trash too. Okay. Oh, nice. Empty organic sampler. Alright. It makes crunchy noises when you press the button.
Empty.
An observation pod, my friend. With nothing to observe.
Like this, something could get out.
Or in.
Yeah. Alright, let's open that for now. Okay. Let's see. Okay. This must have been built for aggressive organic sampling. It drills in, sucks in fluid, and can spit it back out. Charming. A complete gamble if this leads to anything, but I'll take anything we can find at this point. It still works. Genuinely impressed that both the mechanism and fluid have survived this long. Okay, so let's see. A nightmare combination of drill and needle. Kane's R&D must have been cackling as they developed this. It could be useful unless it's just the tag for the sock drawer. But then we'll need to find the machine that reads this either way. A genuine collector's item could sell this for a mint, but I'm tempted to keep it for myself. Alright, so I don't get this at all. It's just very poor. Now I know, so I have the aluminum, I have the magnesium. I don't think I have the last ingredient yet. That's just doing that. I don't really see anything else to do out here yet. The only thing there is this, but I don't know what this does. What do you have? Anything? Alright, so all I've got to work with this. I don't think I have anything that works with it. No. Alright, not sure.
Once started, employment is a light that never goes out. The more you contribute, the brighter your flame will become.
Listen, my brothers and sisters, death is not the end. When we pass on from this world, we join the Nexus of Nine, where we will be reunited with our loved ones and live in eternal peace and happiness.
That's all well and good, but what does that have to do with our work here at Kane Corporation? We need to focus on the here and now, on working hard and achieving our goals, not on some afterlife that may or may not exist.
Okay. Okay.
Scary thing. Scary noises. I have never heard noises like these. They are unique. What if it heard its own noises?
Okay.
I do not like these sounds. They are wrong.
The cries. I remember them from my fugue. Somehow.
Now we have them.
I don't want them.
Are you gonna say we put that over here then? Great. Let's go. Okay. Alright, so I thought maybe it would go there. Okay. What was that? I think it was this way. There, yeah, security terminal. Okay. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, we need this. Okay.
It did not stay long.
Perhaps it needs more motivation.
Damn. Okay, let me try that again. Okay. Organic sampler. Okay. Maybe I need to put some, like, blood or something there. Okay.
This door won't budge. Its gears are locked tight. The gears are metal, and metal can be moved by magnets.
I didn't want to do that, but I don't think I have any magnets right now. I don't. Okay. Okay. Oh, you know what? Oh, this thing. Right. I forgot about this. Go. Maybe. Okay. Maybe not. Alright. Sounds so nasty. Damn. I thought maybe, because that's where the thing came out of. This. Okay. Alright. So that messes up. Okay. Damn. Felt like I was onto something there. Okay. You know what? I think this is probably a good place to end it for the night. Seems as good a place as any to stop. So, we'll come back next time and try to lure that thing out and get it away from where we're trying to go and trap it in that area. Alright, well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Have a good night, everybody. Bye-bye.